Why so few people live on the west coast of Ireland? The entire landscape of Ireland, comprising a total population of 7.2 million people, is distributed across the two separate areas within the island of Ireland, which share a striking and unique disparity in urbanisation and population. Northern Ireland, which is today a part of the United Kingdom, and the Republic of Ireland, a separate independent nation, the two regions share a similarity due to the fact that both regions are majorly occupied at the east coast region of the island, leaving the west coast largely uninhabited when compared to the east. What are the historical factors and decisions that has given rise to the disparity in population? How does the political and historical context of the creation and structures of the Irish territories affect the population disparity? In this video, we are going to be looking at how the factors within the creation and structure of the territories within the island of Ireland has given rise to the population difference evident in the area today. Also, join me as we uncover how the unique geography of Ireland plays a major role in causing the migration and population of the East Coast in striking contrast with the West Coast. Find out how the economic and financial centres in the East Coast were created and developed over the years, leading to mass migration towards the East Coast in hopes of better access to improved technology and the urban society, leaving West Coast outpaced by the urbanisation and development in its eastern counterpart. Welcome once again to today's video. Hit the like and subscribe button to stay updated on all our latest videos as we upload on the channel. The island of Ireland has been noted to be occupied by settlers going far back as over 33,000 years across history, beginning with the hunter-gatherer communities of the early ages. Actual sustained settlements in Ireland began almost 9,000 years ago, with settlers likely arriving from Scotland and later influenced by the influx of various waves of settlers and cultures, all coming with their own civilizations. Celtic culture was said to arrive in 600 BC. Settlers known as the Gaels from regions in modern Spain. They first introduced sophisticated social structure into Ireland along the Celtic cultures. Christianity, on the other hand, came during the 4th century, brought by missionaries like St. Patrick, who went on to found monasteries which became centres of learning and scholarship scattered across Ireland during the periods of history known as the Dark Ages. The Vikings also influenced the foundation of Ireland as a nation during the 8th centuries, when the Viking raids occurred. Initially plunderers, they later settled majorly across the coastline of Ireland, leading to the creation of coastal towns like Dublin, Limerick, and Waterford. But the influence of the Normans would be the first step in the invasion and colonisation of Ireland by English rule. The Normans, who were invited to settle disputes in 1169, would later settle and become even more Irish than the Irishmen in later times. However, the Tudor conquest in the 1500s would solidify English rule in Ireland, beginning with the plantation policies, where confiscated Irish lands would be distributed to English and Scottish chieftains, sowing the seeds of the English-Irish conflicts that would later manifest in years to come. Also, the great farming between 1845 to 1849, caused primarily by the potato blight epidemic, and also the inaction of England, would eventually lead to the deaths of over 1 million Irish settlers and the first wave of migration of millions across various regions in Ireland, eventually leading to population decline in the west coast. All these would eventually lead to the historic War for Independence in 1916, culminating in the Anglo-Irish Treaty of 1921, establishing the Irish Free State, which has remained an independent sovereign state since 1949, and Northern Ireland, which has stayed as part of the United Kingdom. Although there has been notable violence in Northern Ireland, the Troubles, which refer to violent conflicts, which severely plagued the region between the 1960s to the late 1990s, but despite the existence of these two regions bounded by a single geography, both share a similarity with the apparent population and development of the East Coast regions and the low population and rural situation of the West Coast. The geography of Ireland plays a major role in the defining population disparity along the coasts of Ireland. Known as the Emerald Isle because of its striking greenery, the island of Ireland has always had a unique geography and natural makeup. Being exposed to weather and winds carried by the first jet streams of the Atlantic, Ireland is noted for having a mild temperature and constant rainfall. The west coast, which is largely the most isolated region, has a physical geography characterised by rugged terrains, numerous mountains and indented coastlines, which makes it quite a severe landscape, posing challenges for agriculture and transportation. The region is also noted to also receive higher rainfall and more severe wind blasts. In contrast, the east coast tends to be drier and slightly warmer and more suitable for living, having a topography defined by low-lying mountains. The highest peaks in the southwest regions being the Current Hill Mountain reaches about 1,038 metres above sea level. The east coast is also defined by flatter lands and fertile soils, suitable for agriculture with a better topography for road and railway construction. Before we delve deeper into the economic positioning of the East Coast, which has definitely influenced its high population, we will look at a few more defining features of Ireland's unique geography. Peat bogs, lakes and fertile lands primarily describe the central plains of Ireland. River Shannon is said to be the longest river in Ireland, stretching across kilometres between the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland regions. The island coastline has a length of 7,500 kilometres, a uniquely rugged coastline with many cliffs, like the Cliff of Moher. Glacial activities during the last ice age created a number of sculptures and patterned landscapes, like the Dingle Peninsula and the Killary Harbour. Apart from the contrast in geography between the east and west coast, the historical and political influence of the English colonisation also play a major role in the population imbalance between the coasts. With the east coast being physically closer to England, it was the first point of contact with English control, which intensified during the time of the Tudor monarchs. By the 16th and 17th century, during the plantation policies, which eventually led to Dublin in the east coast becoming the central point of English influence and power in the island territories, eventually growing stronger as the seat of economic and commercial activities in the island regions, leading to influx of strangers and settlers to the rich economic and cultural centre, further boosting its large population. At this point, do well to click the subscribe button if you are not yet subscribed to stay updated on all our latest videos. The west coast, although boasting large cities like Limerick and Galway, has remained largely uninhabited, with empty lands scattered across the region. Its physical geography and harsher climate has led it to fall behind the east coast in terms of population and development, as most of the settlements in the west are still largely rural, and compared to the east, which has a thriving network of roads and railway lines, which are innovations necessary for the creation of an industrialised metropolitan region, which would eventually give rise to higher population, eager to access better social amenities, healthcare and education services. This trend of a more populated and developed East Coast is both noticeable in both the independent state of Ireland and the regions of Northern Ireland. The question of whether or not a united Ireland will ever become a reality is one that has been asked countless times in history, and the feasibility of such possibility will be left to be addressed in another video, although it is worthy of note that the departure of the UK from the EU, with Northern Ireland voting to remain a part of the Union, just like the Republic of Ireland, which is still a member, has given rise to fresh debates about the possibility of a united Ireland. But for now, the region remains split until any further change occurs. See you all next time, and thank you for sticking around till the end of today's video.